Here we go. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Black Carnivore live stream. It is great to see you. Sorry we are late tonight, but we are going to have a great conversation. I'm actually really looking forward to it. So, welcome, everybody. So, if you're new here, I am Ade, otherwise known as Black Carnivore, and we talk all about the carnivore diet. So, settle in. I think you're really going to enjoy the conversation. So what I wanted to talk about was like, where are the best places that you found to eat for carnivore in your town? Like, I would love to put together a list. So as many of you know, I am leaving New York finally, and I'm going to be heading out into America, and such as it is. So I'm going to North Carolina, but I also do want to do a bunch of road trips this summer and visit some people. So, I want to pick out some of the best spots and meet up with some people and, have some meaty times. So I want to hear from you. That was a really funny joke. What are you laughing
No,
about?
that's why I'm laughing. Meaty times is hilarious. I feel like I need to say that more often.
Yeah, meaty times. So, meaty times with good friends. And yeah, so I want to hear from all of you. And yeah, let us know where is your favorite spot in your town? No town too big or too small. I'm up for some adventure. So why don't we start with you, Arian?
Uh, um, where are the best places to eat as a carnivore in Baltimore? It's gonna fall on seafood. Um,
Hmm.
we've got a ton of seafood spots. We've got seafood places and we've got steakhouses. Those are your best bets. I can't think of a good like if you just wanted to catch brisket or pulled pork on a random Wednesday, like where do you go? I don't. I haven't found the place yet. There's plenty of places to get tacos. You go to Highland Town, there's taco places all over. You go ahead and get your tacos and scrape all the stuff out so that you're not eating the tortilla. Those are delicious. You can get beef tongue all over the place, so that's great. Actually, yeah, the only time I've ever had beef tongue has all the times have been from Mexican taco places.
Hmm.
But as far as steakhouses, I mean, they're the names that you would if you look up steakhouses in Baltimore, you're gonna find them. I can't think of the names offhand, but I can come back. And then for seafood, there's Phillips, there's Moe's. Um, those are my go-tos. Like Moe's is a cheaper, more friendly place. Phillips is a little more buttoned up, more expensive. But yeah, you're gonna be able, especially Phillips, you're gonna be able to get like crawfish and everything there.
Hmm. Okay. So Phillips, is that a chain or is it like just one thing?
Good question. I can check, but I don't. I've never seen another Phillips, but it kind of sounds like it might be a chain.
Yeah. Okay. So seafood in the Maryland, DC area.
Pretty much, yeah. Like we're not known for doing beef a certain way or barbecue or anything like that. Like there are places, but
But you're known for
Maryland is
crab, right?
yeah, Maryland is known for crab. You go to any good restaurant and get a crab cake, they're gonna serve it to you on like probably a bed of lettuce. It's your choice whether to eat that or not. Um, but yeah, when you're here and you're looking for meat, really seafood is our specialty.
Wait, do they make crab cakes with breading or how do they make them?
There probably is some breading in there. If you want one completely without breading, you're going to need to go to a more expensive restaurant. Um,
Oh, okay. Wait,
there's
why would more expensive restaurants do it without breading? I
because
mean, I
crab
didn't
is
even know it was possible.
um it. I mean, I don't know. Like I don't ask these questions. Like I just get a crab cake, and
Okay.
you basically know. I'm less worried about the breading in crab cakes because there isn't going to be much. A good crab cake, you're going to taste that it is mostly crab meat, and it's going to be big lump Maryland jumbo lump crab meat. That's what you want. You're going to see the chunks of it in the crab cake. It's not going to be, you know how sometimes you get a crab cake from a grocery store and the crab, like the meat is real stringy and it just looks like a ball of stringy meat that's been fried
Mm-hmm.
somehow. Like
Mm-hmm.
these are not that. If you're getting good crab cakes, they're nothing like that. You're biting them and you're not even taking a clean bite because you're pulling chunks of meat out of the crab cake.
Uh-huh. Okay. So,
So,
the moral of the story is I have never had a quality crab cake.
oh, if
Yeah.
that's the case, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't had one where you can see the chunks in there and you can taste and feel the chunks, you haven't had a good Maryland crab cake.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever had a crab cake that wasn't like from an appetizer tray at some event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so clearly that's like, heated up from somewhere else and yeah,
Yep.
or maybe at a
Yeah.
wedding or something.
You know what? All
Okay.
right. So either on your way to North Carolina or after you get down there, we'll figure it out to
Yes.
get you some good crab cakes because they're all
Yes.
over here. Like those, the restaurants I named are like the best ones or the most
Hmm.
widely known ones, but you can pretty much go anywhere. And as long as it's a mid-level to good restaurant, it's going to have a good crab cake there. It's going to cost market price, so you're going to probably pay somewhere from $14 to $20 for a crab cake, and that's gonna. It's not a huge thing. It's maybe like that big or so.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Because that crab meat, getting that in a can at the grocery store is something like $15 to $20 a pound.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, crab is
All
very
right.
expensive.
Okay. So, run down that list again real quick. So everybody, if you're listening and you're heading to, that area, Maryland area, make sure to
Yeah,
head over there.
you know what? I forgot one, so I'm glad you asked me to run down the list again. So Phillips is the hoity-toity bigger name place. There's also Moe's, which is a lower level place, still great. Just the decor of the restaurant and things are not as great. Also, there is a place called Papa's. There's two of them in Maryland. They have excellent crab cakes there. And there's another one too that's in Southeast Baltimore or Southwest. G&M. If you go to G&M, don't get the crab cakes. Get the stuffed oysters. It may cost like $30, $40,
Stuffed
but
with
it's
what?
gonna stuffed with crab meat. So you get the stuffed oysters, and
Wow.
I guess there's an oyster under there. Who cares? I don't know. What you care about is it's basically a crab cake that's on top of the oyster, and you get about six of them.
Okay. Nice. All right. Then it is a plan. We are doing that.
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh,
So
see, Mike knows.
uh-huh.
Mike in the chat, he knows. G&M is fantastic. Yes, it is. You just got to know what to order when you go there.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. So Nubia says Little Miss Barbecue here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hosea says, "Yo, in the building in Dallas. I love Saltgrass Steakhouse. Nice."
Okay.
Steve, Global Traveler, always a big supporter, has given us a super chat of 19.99. Thank you so much. It's always really helpful to have you guys give support to the channel and to help us continue on. And while we're talking about it, please hit the like button and the subscribe and click the little bell icons to get notification every time we put up videos. And yeah, definitely, come and give us support and give us love because I really want to share this message as far as possible. And I'm looking forward to, we're actually making videos about this. So, I will definitely be documenting my travels and, the gatherings and everything. So, for sure, keep watching this summer. Okay. Oh, and Steve said Korean barbecue, carnivore is easy in Asia. And, and Ruth Chris when he lands in San Francisco. I don't know why I thought carnivore would be difficult in Asia. I mean, I feel like whenever I go to a Japanese or a Chinese restaurant, there's a lot of vegetables and like the meat is, it's more spread out, or there seems to be a lot of vegetable and rice to kind of bulk up the meal. So I assumed that it would be more expensive or more difficult to just get meat, but maybe that's not true. I mean, what we know as Chinese food, for example, here in New York is not the same thing as what's known as
Right,
Chinese food
right. It's so
there.
different.
Yeah. So let me know, Steve. Let me know what it's like. Okay, so Frank, glad you are here. Welcome. And unfortunately, Frank has a shellfish allergy, so that removes the destination, to Maryland. I can't have shrimp, but I'm good with crab and with lobster, and I've never had oysters, I think. So yeah, that'll be new. Okay, Mike says Timbuktu is another great restaurant around there. Have you been to that one?
I haven't. I've heard about it. Let me look up where Timbuktu is. I don't know.
Mhm.
Is that actually in Baltimore, or is that just
I don't know.
near?
Mike, tell us. Is Mike is Let us know where Timbuktu is. Um, Mike says
Oh,
Chinese hot pot restaurants, all you can eat meat cooked in broth.
there's one in Hanover, so that's by the airport.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. I guess I've just never been there for some reason.
Well, now you got somewhere to go, somewhere new to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
let's
gotta check
see.
that out.
Yeah. So everybody who's in the chat, please, or who's watching this actually, please go ahead and write in the chat, where you're from and what's your favorite, thing to get or restaurant to go to in your area. So I see Vitamin Lady 8 says, hello from rural South Carolina. We have awesome crab cakes here. So, Vitamin Lady, I did not know. I mean, is that just like another great spot to catch crab? Is that like a Was that a common thing that people were eating in that area? And where do we go? What town? I'm open to it. My family is actually my mother's side of the family is from Aiken, South Carolina. So I went there once, but that is not on the coast, so not exactly relevant. But that's as much as I know about South Carolina. And I did. Oh, wait a minute. I did spend a summer in um, Charleston. Not a summer, a winter, a couple of months. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and put it in the chat, Vitamin Lady. I'm curious. Um, let's see. Steve Global Traveler says, "Yep, American Asian food isn't true Asia. Beef, pork, and chicken dishes always available, except in parts of northern India." Okay, cool, nice.
All right.
Liz C says Detroit. Yeah, well, let me know in Detroit. I'm certainly gonna visit my dad again in Ann Arbor, so I'll be heading through Detroit. So let's see, put it in the chat where you want to go. Okay, so Vitamin Lady 8 says yes in Mount Pleasant or Charleston. So okay, great. So where in Charleston? I definitely was not eating out when I was there. I was actually working on the Howard Dean campaign. So that was quite
Mm.
a long time ago.
Wait,
And
was he the BR dude?
yeah, it was before. I mean, things fell apart at that point. So I was working on his campaign, and then like that moment happened, and in a day we were dismantling the office, and it was like, oh my God! I mean, we were doing great. We were really like activating the vote. And because we were working on the campaign, we weren't watching TV, so none of us saw it. I think we went out. We were watching the whole thing in a bar, and we were drinking and talking, and so we really just didn't even see like the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. But anyway, yes. So that's what I was doing in Charleston, but we did not, eat out or do any of that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Apparently, you were missing out on good crab cakes.
Yeah. Evidently. Um, okay. Mundell says Braza's Brazilian grill, various meats presented on swords and sliced onto your plate. Great production quality. Excellent. So where is that? I mean, is that a chain or is that like one particular restaurant?
Yeah, I'd like to know where his process.
Uh-huh. Okay. So Liz C says she doesn't do much eating out, but likes Outback Steakhouse. So yeah, that could always be a solid choice. And is it very expensive, or I don't know how it compares to other kind of steakhouses. It's a chain, right? Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, I see Outback as less expensive than. This is all my perception. I can compare menu prices.
Mm-hmm.
They feel less expensive to me than somebody mentioned Ruth Chris earlier. That is like
Mm-hmm.
high end steakhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Still a chain, but yeah, much more high end.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I did get a steak from Outback Steakhouse. It was early on in the pandemic, and I took it. I had to, of course, take it out, and it was not very crispy on the outside, and I was provided a plastic knife and fork to eat it. So it was the whole experience was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't fun, but I don't know what it would be like being in there.
Hmm.
Um, Okay, so Sawa says, I live in Midwest USA. I don't know about dining out in Midwest. I was wondering what is affordable. Anyone know? Uh, well, I guess what anybody considers affordable is going to vary based off of your income, but
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
say for Midwest, I mean, I don't know where you are in the Midwest. My experience there is all basically Ohio and Detroit. Like
Hmm.
we know we don't really go farther in the Midwest. Either we're going all the way to the West Coast or we're in
Hmm.
Ohio where my family is. In
Uh,
Ohio, the carnivore stuff to do is well, it's not carnivore, but you get a Polish boy, and I guess you could no, like you 8A would not like a Polish boy because the best part about the Polish boy is the barbecue sauce. Um, like it's a Polish sausage with barbecue sauce, and then it's got fries and coleslaw in there in a bun. Um,
this is not carnivore.
right, like it's totally not carnivore. So like that doesn't fit at all. Outside of that though, um, there's pit beef everywhere.
What's
Like
that?
it's just these places where they've got those big grills that are like an oil drum that's been sliced in half.
Oh, right, right, right. Is that a
Yeah,
smoker or is that something? I assumed that that was a smoker. Is that something different?
you know it might be a smoker. That would make more sense. But um, I've also seen those used as grills too. So
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you for sure, but I know they're everywhere and the food there is delicious.
Uh-huh. Okay. Um, okay, so let's see. I see Steve Global Traveler says it's 8:30 Friday morning here. This food talk is gonna make me break my IF early.
Mm,
I know, sorry about that. For anybody who is fasting, sorry about that. But just put a pin in it. Think about where you
right.
might like to try and go to in the future. But I'm actually curious about getting to know more of you and understanding more about the Black Carnivore community and like spending time. So I appreciate your indulging me. So Vitamin Lady 8 says Hall's Chop House and Hyman Seafood, both in Charleston. Okay, so
All
I
right.
will look those up. And who is in the Charleston area? Let me know. I would love to connect. Send me, well, actually, better yet, send me a DM and we'll talk about that. Um, okay, Mandel says Brazos has more than one location. Okay, so it's a chain. Uh, yeah. So that's awesome. But I would love to hear what are the spots in South Carolina that are cool. Like, I'm happy to hear about like, the truck stop that makes really good whatever, or, the corner restaurant that makes really good ribs, whatever. Let's hear about the known and the chains that we're used to, and let's also hear about the random stuff that is somebody's treasure in their backyard that nobody else knows about and would never know about if you didn't share it with us.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I love.
Hmm.
Like the things that are off the beaten path. It's where locals go to eat. And yeah, you wouldn't know unless you already know or you ask somebody who does know.
Hmm. Yeah, we're food adventurers here. That's what I'm aiming for. And in
Yeah.
fact, one of the women that I coach drives a truck, so she like goes all over the country, and so she's been telling me just like some of these random things that she's having. I think she was somewhere in Texas and found a restaurant that made smoked brisket stuffed with cheese and deep fried it. And it was called, I forget what it was called, like hog's balls or something weird, you know? And I was like, wow, like, wow, who came up with this idea? It wasn't I mean, that's such a perfect carnivore thing, but it was just in a restaurant. And this is just a regular thing that people have. So it's like, man, that is amazing.
Mm.
So,
That's
probably was fried in vegetable oil, but I'll give it a pass because that was pretty ingenious thinking.
yeah. That I keep seeing dishes that like look good until somebody breads the thing and then deep fries it. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on with the internet lately, but I'm seeing a ton of those dishes, like recipe food ideas. I'm
Well, she
always
said
like,
this was not breaded, so
oh, okay. So
yeah.
yeah, that helps. That helps a lot. That makes it a lot more appealing because a lot of times I'll look at those things and they seem good until I just think of like how much oil is in there and how sick feeling that's gonna make me after I eat.
Hmm.
But if it's not breaded, then there's not as much there to soak up all that oil.
Hmm. That's true.
That that
Exactly.
sounds a lot better.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, maybe, I mean, the kind of place that does that, maybe they would have said, we're just frying in tallow. It's
Mm.
easier, works better. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, and shoot, if you're cooking brisket all the time, you might have a ton of tallow laying around.
Hmm. Yep. So, and she also said there was it's like a butcher shop that also will cook your food, or you can just buy the raw food there and take it away. But they make smoked brisket sliders, and they make their own kind of sausage, and then you can buy it, cooked there, or you can buy it and take it home. And I was like, man, that is great. So
Yeah,
it's called In-Laws. I don't know if anybody here, if you're watching, if you've ever heard of that.
in-laws. And where's that at?
I don't know, somewhere along Interstate 10, I think. I don't know where that.
Where
Could be
what state is that?
Kansas.
What?
I don't know. Could be
Oh,
Missouri.
Jesus.
Could be Kansas. Could be Kentucky. Somewhere.
You know what? All right, I'm gonna see if I can find it. In-laws on Route 10
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
Interstate 10.
Uh huh. So Vitamin Lady 8 says Scott's BBQ is a hole in the wall that has been featured on the cooking channel in Hemingway, South Carolina, Brunson neighborhood. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. That is the information that we want to know. So I
Yeah.
may yet make my way over there and and film it and have a meaty conversation with you guys.
Oh snap! I found it.
Okay. Is it
It's
a chain
called.
or is it just one?
It's in. Oh, wait, you said it was in the Midwest? This is in Louisiana.
Is that not the Midwest? I don't know. I mean,
I think it was.
if it's between New York and California, it's like that's the Midwest. I don't know.
Oh, you're such a New York bias. No, Louisiana
I
is deep
know.
south.
It's in the middle in the South. Isn't Louisiana next to Texas? I mean, isn't that, I don't know, in the middle?
No,
Yeah, okay.
Midwest
All right.
is
Okay. All right.
north of Mason-Dixon, starts at like western Pennsylvania and goes to probably Iowa, maybe Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, okay. It's a place called In-Laws. It's in Louisiana. Yeah, that is right on I-10.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, anybody here from Louisiana? What are the spots over there?
Oh yeah, they probably gotta have some great.
Oh, and Vitamin
Louisiana's food
Lady.
has got to be great. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Vitamin Lady 8 says try the hog skins. They go within the first hour. Oh wow. So is that like pork cracklings or pork rinds? Is that
Sounds like
essentially
it.
what it is? Yeah. So yeah, the this woman was also telling me about um, they make they make like pork rinds there or pork cracklings, and you can buy it I guess by the pound, and
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. So all right. I am getting excited. So Steve Glober Traveler says sausage lovers in the San Francisco Bay Area, top dog minus the buns near UC Berkeley. My daughter's favorite since she was 2 years old. Nice. Excellent.
Okay.
Yes.
So West Coast people, if you're in the Bay Area, there's your recommendation.
Hmm. And Kimberly says she's out. She's fasting and needs to stay focused. Totally get it. I understand. This can be a challenge.
Yeah, Kim was
Yeah.
like, I ain't fooling with y'all. Like, I thought y'all was gonna talk about health or something today. You just want to talk about what to eat. This is not for me. Not tonight.
Yes. Yes. Well, we are talking. This is health. This is health. Um,
Uh-huh.
we are talking about getting a good and solid carnivore meals that you can stay on track and, feel good about. So most of us, I feel like, don't eat out very often. I don't. And, over the years, I've come to find my own cooking like better than anything I get out. So I do that most often. But, sometimes you want to like get out there and try something different, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. So
And
Juan
that
says, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that at least like you were talking about eating out and wanting to this wasn't on this video, this was a recent one. I can't remember which, but like the fact that when you eat out you want to eat something that's different than what you could make at the house. Um, so brisket is perfect for that for me because I'm not going to spend all the time to smoke a brisket. I don't have the facility. I'm not even allowed to have a smoker in my apartment. Um,
What? Yes. Why would you want that? Like,
you know,
man. Yes, you should not
appar-
be allowed to have a smoker in your apartment. And
apparently
if
that's
such a
frowned
rule needs
upon.
to be made, be made, I question you. I really question how you are living.
Well, they haven't
That someone
specifically
thought you
said
might do
smoker,
that.
but they definitely said because people would do it. They said grills are not allowed, not even on your balconies. So none
Uh-huh.
of us are allowed to grill, which I'm sure includes smokers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
apparently that's frowned upon in this establishment. So yeah, no smoking meat for me. But yeah, that's like the good thing to go out for. Um, to just get something different than what you would normally do, or something that you literally can't do. In my case,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some foods that I mean, I guess I feel like barbecue and smoking meat is definitely in that category where, like, there's a whole art to it, and it's
right?
just not something you're going to pick up, or maybe you don't even want to bother trying, um, to master that art. Like, it's a whole thing
Yeah.
in and of itself. Hmm.
Yeah, or the amount of time it takes. Like smoking is
Uh-huh.
hours and hours versus if you don't want to do that on a regular basis, you can just go to a restaurant and pay the however much money and you got your smoked meat right there.
Hmm.
Like I visited a farm um yesterday and as part of the tour they gave us lunch. So this farm is like they were mostly vegetables. So like
Wait,
they're showing
why
us these
why did you visit a farm?
it's a long story. The school I went to, Morgan State, they are partnering with this farm to provide the farm like gives away everything that they grow. It's called, and in fact, they deserve it. I'm going to shout them out. First Fruits Farm. So
Okay.
they grow a ton of food and they give it all away. It's a completely nonprofit farm, and the school is going to be one of the places that they start giving food to. So as part of like building that relationship, the school sent a delegation out to the farm, we toured the place, and then they showed it. They gave us lunch. And during this tour, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, but it's a huge field of potato plants. I don't care. I, as a carnivore now, I'm thinking about how that land could be better used to raise animals that would feed people so much better than potatoes or like the broccoli or the cabbage field, same thing. But anyway, the point of me bringing this up was when they served us lunch, they had a couple vegetables. I didn't care about those. And then they had pulled pork. Pulled pork was pretty good. And then they had brisket. Brisket was so good.
Wow, they had brisket. That's
Right.
I don't know.
Because this farm also has chickens and it has cows. It's not a lot of chickens, it's not a lot of cows. So I imagine that brisket maybe did or didn't come from one of their cows. But
mhm.
um yeah, it was really good. And
Nice.
yeah, I got to see the cows up close and people were feeding them. I was not a fan of that. One of the cows licked my hand. It's gross. But like cow tongues are like literally this long.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're huge and their
Yeah.
noses are wet all the time and no, no, not for me. I don't want cow spit on my hand because I tried to feed it some grass because I wanted to be cool.
I went to the aquarium once, and the sea lions. They were coming over to say hello, and just as the sea lions were coming over, the staff from the aquarium was like, if they kiss you, like it hurts their feelings if you pull back and go, ugh. So don't do that. Like smile. They're giving you a kiss, and then
No,
and then they
no,
jump up
ma'am.
for a kiss. So he kissed
Get
one of
back.
them kissed my cheek, and I was like, I like this. Yes, thank you. It was
Hey,
very
you're a
weird.
good one.
I didn't
You're a
want
good
to
one.
hurt the I didn't want to hurt the animal's feelings. I mean,
You know
I
what?
get it. I get it.
Con- consent is key. That sea lion did not ask you to kiss. Like, it's,
I don't know. Well, anyway, it was nice that you went to the farm. That is cool, and it's also awesome that you're such an involved alumni. You're still
yeah,
active in your school stuff. That's cool.
yeah. I was really happy to get invited.
Okay. Let's see. So Juan says Noble Smoke in Charlotte, North Carolina has amazing brisket and prime BBQ in Nightdale, North Carolina. Okay, so
There you
I've
go.
got to make a mental note of this because I Charlotte is my destination. So nice. Um,
Okay.
and Vitamin Lady was saying the hog skin is crackling. So, and so tell me, is the crackling really tough? Because I find sometimes I get it and it's like biting into a rock, and other times it's more, I don't know, softer because there's more fat in it. So,
Mhm.
what's the magic secret? Why is it sometimes like a rock, or do I just throw those pieces out? I don't know. Um, Leonard, it's great to see you. Glad you are here. Um, and Liz, what you're saying, I don't know. Does anyone ever get tired of grill flavor and smoke flavor? If I have it too often, I get really turned off by flavors and prefer kitchen cooking. That has
I
never
could see that.
happened to me, but I have not had access to grilled food that often.
I could see, especially if the grilled food always has some of that char flavor on it, I would get tired of that.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not a fan of charred meat. I don't enjoy that. It tastes like I'm eating ashes. So, yeah, I could see that getting frustrating. Like, I don't cook my meat to that degree. I don't think you would get tired of it because you like everything crispy.
Hmm.
But for me, who doesn't have that preference, I can imagine that smoky grilled flavor being too much sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. And we have been like talking heavily either crab or beef, but there are the other animals. Like we should be promoting, there's got to be lamb and goat that's available around the country. What are the best spots for bison? Is that something you have to go to Washington State or I don't know, Montana? Where do the bison roam? I
Yeah.
mean, they used to be everywhere, right?
Where's the home where the buffaloes roam
Exactly.
currently?
Yes. Yes. Where are they? Um, okay, so Nubia says sea lions are so much fun to be around. Yeah, they were fun, and that's what the staff was saying. Like they're very fun and gentle and loving, and so don't be mean to them. Don't hurt their feelings. Um, yeah,
Do not spurn their affection.
yeah. I mean, I guess they were saying don't lean in for a kiss and then do that. Like if you really feel that way, sit back a little
Mm,
further. You don't need to be up front.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so Mandel says his favorite restaurant is Gus. Decent variety of meats, but just quiet and friendly. So where is Gus? Is that some guy's
Yeah,
living room?
like Mandel. Like, what city is Mandel in?
um, I don't know. Liz says cracklings hurt my teeth. Yeah. So I wonder if that's like if there's I mean if you're buying it at a local place that's making it if you can make requests like can they cook them a little less long or are there things that make them less hard like that because I don't know I wonder I feel like if you're talking to somebody who makes it like there may be some nuances that you're just not going to get when it's being shipped halfway across the country.
Probably. I'll be honest. I stopped buying cracklings because of I was tired of getting hard pieces.
Mm. So you don't but they're not all hard it's like that's just a it's just some
Yeah,
of it, and you never know when it's going to be. Right.
right. And point of order. This is me buying cracklings from the grocery store. This isn't me going and buying anything like a
Right.
homemade crackling.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, Kim, Jolene, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. And Meat Based Musing says if the same wood is used to smoke the meat, I'd get tired of it. Okay. So you just switch up the wood.
Yeah.
Let's see. Leonard loves Brazilian steakhouses, all you can eat meat. Yeah, everybody does. They are pretty awesome, and you get to feel like a king just sitting in your chair. Bring me food. Bring me the next flavor. I don't take this away. I'm sick of this. Okay, Vitamin Lady, this is good information. Crunchy if it's cooked well. If it's cooked too long on the pit, it turns hard. Deer meat is plentiful here. Everyone here are hunters, so we all have deer sausage everywhere.
Mm.
In South Carolina, I didn't. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that there weren't deer weren't there, but deer are everywhere, huh?
Deer have covered the entire East Coast, it seems like.
Uh huh. Okay. Wait, just the East
And
Coast, or not across the country?
well, I don't know how far they go. I know that Ohio has them. I've seen deer clear my grandma's fence in Ohio. So
Yeah.
I know I've seen them there. I don't know how far west they go though.
Okay. All right. Well, then we will see. I'm looking forward to trying some of the deer sausage. And actually, tell me, I have a friend who is from Wisconsin, and he does a lot of well, he does some hunting. He goes hunting every year, although prefers fishing. But he was telling me that deer sausage. Well, he has a special butcher that he's been using for I guess two generations. So his father used this butcher, and
Mm.
so he gets to choose which fat he wants added to the sausage. So he usually does lard, but apparently it is also an option to choose other animal fat. And I thought that was interesting because I guess deer is pretty lean. Every time I've had it, it's not been good. Although I will admit it was not cooked by people who could cook,
Mm.
so it might not have been the deer's fault. But yeah, yeah. Some people should not be in the kitchen, but that's how it is. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think too, because meat is so maligned and people talk so bad about meat that um, people just have stopped trying to learn how to cook it, and so then they get a piece of meat and it's just like, I don't know, they don't know what to do with it at all.
Yep. They have no clue. Or some people they just think cooking meat is just getting it to as brown gray of a color as you can get it, and then saying, "Okay, it's done. I cooked it."
Yeah. Oh God, that's so awful.
And especially something like deer that's already really lean. Like I imagine you have to be really careful about how you cook that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even really know what to do. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So, folks, put it in the comments. Where should we go? Where should I go? Let me know. I've got some hot tips for Maryland and for South Carolina and North Carolina. What about Louisiana? I might head over there, and I'm gonna be in Austin. So for KetoCon, so that's really exciting. And if you're interested in attending KetoCon, definitely use my code so you can get a discount and it'll be exciting. I'll get to meet you all. And yeah, so let's hear some places in Texas because I'm sure there's got to be some cool stuff. And I actually decided the flights into Austin are crazy. I mean, I could not believe, and I was looking like a month ago, and the flights were like $800 to fly into Austin at like a normal time. And I'm like, who is going to
Wait.
Austin? Like, what is
Oh
happening
God.
about Austin? So I
Hmm.
ended up finding a ticket to Houston for, like 250, which is a
Oh,
huge difference. Yeah. Now
huge.
it's a
Yeah.
3 hours away, but my cousin lives there, and there's like a bus that you can take from Houston to Austin, and it's like one of those luxury buses. So you've got all the space and like one of those I don't know, one of those seats that like moves so it counteracts motion, so you can feel like you're sitting still, and one of those luxury fancy buses.
I
So yeah,
didn't know this existed. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, And I don't know if this one has it, but some of these fancy bus lines, like they have free drinks and Wi-Fi, and the seats are like all 6 feet apart, so you have a lot of space and a lot of room. Yeah. So anyway, I'll take
Yeah,
that
that
to
sounds
Austin.
decent.
Yeah, yeah, and I decided to stay a little longer, so I get to hang out with him. I haven't seen him in many years actually. So,
Mm.
and I was always so jealous on our family calls. Every Friday when he would come on, he'd be in the pool and grilling on the grill, and that's all he does. And I was like, oh man, all through the pandemic, just grilling, chilling, swimming.
Yeah, you need to soak up some of that lifestyle before you head back east.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, and okay, Vitamin Lady 8 says you cook deer by adding bacon fat. Yeah,
Mm.
that sounds good.
All
Delicious.
right. Good to know.
Yeah. So we covered a lot of restaurants here, a lot of good stuff, but I want you guys to keep digging deep. Where are the secret spots, the places that are some random person who just makes really good food. And and I think that I mean, obviously I'm going to feature the carnivore meals, but also, stuff that's good for people who are following keto as well. I want to, make sure that that's available. But I want to make sure that people feel comfortable and know that it is possible to be carnivore on the road, and you don't have to expect that you are going to be eating, like jerky and something from the gas station the whole time.
Hmm.
I definitely, I don't want to be that. I really want to put some effort into it. Now, there might be, a fair amount of fasting. There might be bringing some food from home and having a cooler or something in the car, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and I think even if the other option is if you really can't find anything or you're just tired of looking, find something that's close to carnivore, like that's carnivore plus bread, and cut the bread out. Like
Hmm.
Steve said about the place in San Francisco, I think it was called Top Dog. Like,
Hmm.
just get your whatever sausages you're gonna get there. Tell them no bun. I don't need a bun for any of these. Now you've got a carnivore meal.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, of course, that's true for burgers and and wings. If you can, you can get those fried and but not breaded. Uh, and I always, I just assume that people don't bread wings, and it's always surprising to me. Like sometimes I'll be someplace and they would bring them breaded, and it's like, what are you doing? Do you not know how to cook wings? Like, they get crispy on their own. They don't need anything further.
It's really weird, but yeah, a lot
Hmm.
of people. It's been frustrating me lately the amount of breading that's on things. Like I think we talked about meatballs, and then recently I had some sausage that I feel like was breaded, and I think that like bothered my stomach because I don't know what else is in there or how
Wait,
much that.
breading in sausage? Like,
That's what
that's
it tasted like,
insane.
right?
Wow.
Right? Why does sausage need bread inside it? Who knows? But they put it in there just to piss me off. It feels like.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you get that if you buy like I don't know, the chicken apple maple sausage. Like that, it's got, just a
Right.
whole assortment of stuff in it.
Right. So yeah, this was a case where I wanted the taste of pizza without pizza. So I bought a pizza and I just ate the cheese and toppings off of it. And I was good at first. Hey, sometimes these are the things that happen in a young household. So um I was eating that and yeah, I was like, something on this doesn't taste right. And
Hmm.
in my mind, it's the sausage. That's what it
Mm.
feels like to me. It's not. I don't think it's the pepperoni. I know what cheese tastes like. The cheese tastes normal. I think it's the sausage. I think it's
Hmm.
some cheap sausage that has a bunch of non-meat in it.
Hmm. Yeah, sausage is a mixed bag, It just
Yep.
it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Well, I
Yep.
made pepperoni scrambled eggs this week, and that was
Okay.
great. Yeah,
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 sounds good.
yeah. I do love pepperoni.
Yeah. And then when you go down to the Carolinas and you've got everybody and their mama who's hunting and has a deer carcass hanging on their back porch, you can just get sausage from them and probably not have to worry about there being stupid additives in it.
That's true. That's true. So I definitely am going to start looking for that. Okay, so Terry says, "Hi, fellow carnivores. I love wings when I'm eating out. Omelets are good when you're out too." Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Yep. As long as you're not at IHOP.
Exactly, exactly. Um, and then as for wings, I mean, I do feel like I am pretty sensitive to vegetable oils, so I tend not to order things that are fried when I'm out because, most likely it's going to be fried in seed oil.
Yep.
But not everybody is as sensitive as I am. So it's just something to keep under consideration. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And over the next few weeks, I was actually going to do a like a reel or something to show. I'm going through my kitchen I think that I think that I just, as I go into this new chapter, I don't want to bring all of my stuff with me. So I'm actually really getting rid of everything, and I've been trying to sell things, and I'm getting things out of the house. And so I started going through my kitchen stuff, and I realized like I have a ton of cabinet space, weirdly, for such a tiny apartment. And it's all full. And I look in it, and it's like there's two skillets, the Instant Pot, an air fryer, and those are like the four things I use. And then, there's four plates.
Mm.
Well, now two plates. I've broken two plates that I ever use. And like there's so much stuff that I have, and I use none of it, and I haven't used any of it for at least 3 years. So yeah, I was thinking, man, I got to show this. But even some things that would be good for carnivore, I end up not ever using. Like I bought one of those mini dash things to make chaffles, and
Mm.
I don't know, chaffles seem like such a good concept, such a good idea, and but for the execution of it, just didn't seem to work for me. So
Yeah. Not a
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
What's the thing
So
that you have that's better, that's good for those? What's it called?
it's the Dash Mini Waffle Maker, so it's like this big,
Oh.
maybe. Yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I've used it twice, and you know, it's just gathering dust. Yeah. And I've like a bunch of casserole dishes, and my mom, just love to collect whatever. So, ton of cast iron pans, from 12 inches down to this size.
Hmm.
And I've used the littlest one to cook a little piece of meat, but, you know, mostly because it's like, oh, it's so cute and adorable.
Right.
I don't want to get rid of it, but it's like, I have no need for this. I don't know what you would do with it. Why do you need a little cast iron pan that big?
Yeah.
So, so please, if you're watching, please tell me, what do you do with these tiny little cast iron pans that look like they belong in a dollhouse? Because
Right. Like is a toddler supposed to cook on these? Like, let me tell you what I use in my kitchen. I have a ton of pots and pans, especially like the stuff from before I was carnivore, like all my baking pans. I never use. Actually, no, there's one that I use. I have a big baking pan that I use for bacon. If I'm making a lot of bacon at once, like if I'm cooking for a group of people, that will get used for the bacon. Other than that, I have two cast iron pans. I really only use one. I don't need the second one. Um, I have a little pot that I boil water in sometimes. Like if I'm boiling eggs, I'll do those in there. I have a kettle because I need hot water sometimes, mostly for coffee. I have an Instapot. I have an air fryer. That's it.
hmm yeah. And even the other stuff, like I have a T-fall grill, which is kind of like the George Foreman thing, and that is
Hmm.
terrible. And
Yep.
before carnivore, though, I was like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing." I cooked everything on it. But now I know that you want the fat. You're not trying to get that to dribble off, and it doesn't
Yep.
doesn't cook that great. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear from you guys too. What are your most, forgotten about appliances? What are you not using? And my sous vide, I have not used that in 4 years.
Yeah. A lot of people really like steak out of the sous vide. It sounds cool. I don't like the waste of a sous vide, so that's why I've never invested in one.
What's the waste? You mean all the electricity that it uses for 3 days? Well, it's
Well, there's also that. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about the food. Like, you put it in that plastic bag and you put that in the water and it heats up the water. Um, one, unless you're going to keep that water and use it over and over, you're wasting a bunch of water.
mm,
And two, that plastic. Like, are
Hmm.
you reusing those? Because if not, if you're throwing those away every time, which I imagine you are, because you don't want today's food to taste like yesterday's food, now you're making plastic waste. And I
Hmm.
try very much to not use plastic um, with my cooking.
Hmm.
And it's wasteful because plastic
Hmm.
doesn't biodegrade like ever.
Well, I think there are reusable silicone bags just for that purpose, exactly what you described.
Mm,
I don't know how they work or, or anything like that, but the technology of it wasn't enough of an interest for me to like start investing in, all of that sort of stuff. So,
mm.
so yeah, I'd love to hear, from you guys if you're using a sous vide. I feel like it was like super popular for a while, and now I don't really hear that much about it anymore. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Frank, thank you so much for the super chat. Frank says, can't stand paying 4 to 5 times the price for food I can make better myself. Knowing exactly what's in my food is very important to me. I totally, totally get you.
Yeah.
However, eventually, we will be free to move about in the world. We'll either the pandemic will be over or we just get used to it and accept that this is the new reality and people will go out into the world. So, it's good to kind of have a backup plan for when you're out in the world and, you can't always control your food. So, it's both. I mean, you do want to choose the best choices you can. But then, there are good choices out there. It's just kind of like we don't know about it. It's kind of like the Green Book, but for carnivores. I'll have to start
It,
making a list and publishing it and letting you know carnivores have been here first. Here is where it's safe to go, where they will not
right.
run you out of town by sundown, and
Right. Like,
you're safe to travel.
this is the carnivore place to go to when you're on I-10. When you're on 95, these are the places to go stop at.
Yep. So I mean, that's literally kind of what I want to do, and just stick it on a map, then make a list, and you can look it up state by state, highway by highway, and just
Mhm.
decide here's how I'm gonna go. So, yeah, so that's kind of I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Delisa says, "Oh my God, just got here. I thought you two were literally sitting side by side. I was about to be mad." Um, does our well, I guess your lamp kind of blends right into my my bookshelf.
Yeah, I think the lamp and the bookshelf. But Delisa, you just gonna have to be jealous because I met 8A last summer, baby. You late.
Yeah,
You late to the
yeah.
game. I was up in New York. We were hanging out. I rode the subway. We met somewhere in Brooklyn. We had barbecue. We sat outside. I met her dog too. Everything.
Mhm. Yep.
She met my girlfriend. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And this summer there is going to be much more of that. So crazy, crazy times, but I've got a lot of moving pieces that the timing all has to come together for May 31st, and everything moves at that moment. But
Mm,
I am gonna go. Actually, have to go to Albany first. That's where my uncle lives. So he's not doing as well as I had hoped, and is probably going to be moving into assisted living, some kind of assisted living facility. So I'm gonna go up there, see about him, and just kind of help him get sorted before heading down to North Carolina. But I will be taking his car. So, which, was not expecting. So that, opens up a lot of options. So I know I've talked about this a little bit with some people, but, I just have such a wanderlust, in my heart at this time. So I, just can't wait to get in a car and drive and just go different places, see people that I maybe never met in person, or, catch up with old friends and go to new places. So I am totally game. And so, Delisa, we talked about it earlier. I am looking for a quality crab cake. And so at some point this summer, I definitely want to see that happen. And
necessary.
you'll be there because you're in the neighborhood, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, Liz, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Always love the support that this channel that you give us, and it's so awesome to have these conversations, these carnivore conversations with you. I really enjoy you all very much. Chris Earl says, my wife makes a pizza with ground up chicken as the crust and pepperoni, ham, and cheese on top. It's yummy. Yeah, that's a classic. I think that people love making the crust with chicken. I mean, I've never tried that, but I would imagine it's pretty good. Do you have a white sauce or do you use tomato sauce to make it like pizza? Have you
Good
ever?
question.
How do you do it, or have you done it, Arian?
Oh, I've never. I have uh, like just about zero interest in eating that much chicken at once. So,
Well,
and
he didn't say
also,
eat a whole pizza pie.
well, I'm just thinking of, so like if we're grinding up chicken to make a pizza crust, that's got to be a good amount of chicken.
Probably
Um,
8 chicken breasts
Also,
to make a medium-sized pizza pie.
oh, okay, then maybe that wouldn't be too bad as far as the amount of chicken. Also, the prep. Um, a lot of
Yeah,
these recipes don't fly with me because I eat very simple. Like
yeah,
if I'm eating out, I'll try some special crap, sure. But when you're talking about me in my kitchen, like I told you, the kitchen tools
yeah,
that I use, they're not
yeah,
tools. They're things that hold the fire so that I'm not literally holding the meat above like the flame or something. Um,
yeah.
so yeah,
Well,
the
that's
idea of
what the Dark
grinding,
Chris says. He says, I'm
exactly, yes.
realizing just how lazy I am with cooking. So there are so many carnivore things I'd eat, but don't because I wouldn't want to prep it.
Right. Like A, if I go to your house, if I go to somebody else's house and they've got some ground chicken pizza crust pizza, then sure, I'm gonna eat some and see how it tastes. Am I gonna make some? I Nope, I have zero interest. I'm lazy. I can I can put a chuck roast in the Instapot. I can put a steak in the air fryer. I can put a pork chop on the stove in the cast iron skillet, and those are done within everything is 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes
Hmm.
except for
Yeah.
the roast in the air fryer and the roast in the Instapot. But I put that in and then I come back an hour and a half and it's done. It's tender and it's delicious. But
Hmm.
I like my life simple.
Yeah. I mean, I guess some people like to be creative and experiment with stuff. So, and
Yeah.
Instagram is good for that. You look for that stuff. I reposted somebody, posted their carnivore bread recipe, which, is completely different from the protein sparing bread that everybody's been using. And then Black and Keto, you guys should follow her on Instagram. And I think she's on Facebook and has a Facebook group. But Black and Keto made it and did it like, I don't know, some kind of roast beef au jus sandwich.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, this is so amazingly creative. I'm never going to make that bread, but wow. So, yeah,
Is
that's
that
awesome.
Tracy?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
She has a lot of good recipes. They all look cool.
yeah. And she kind of goes back and forth between keto and carnivore. So we'll do like, distinct periods of carnivore. And I think she was saying that she's doing the beef, butter, bacon, and egg fast. So this was like part of that. So,
Mm.
so you might think of BBBE as super restrictive, but, roast beef sandwich with au jus. Like it could be quite decadent.
Right. It's very doable.
Yeah. Now, Fab Life of an NP says, hello from New York City. MOA is a great Korean barbecue in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina. Wow. So, one, are you in New York City now? And I'm sorry I am leaving before, catching up with some of you folks. And I am definitely going to add that to the list. MOA in Charlotte. So, thank you. Or MOA. Oh, Delisa knows the reason for the tiny little scrambled egg. Sorry, the tiny little cast iron pan. It is to fry a single egg sunny side up perfectly round. So that is like the opposite of the minimalist philosophy, to have a device that has one and only one use.
Hmm. Unless you're cooking
So,
sunny side up eggs all the time. It,
but
even then, it's not really minimalist, but at least it has more of a reason for existing.
but even if you're putting it on top of a burger or next to bacon, like you still need another pan to make those other things.
Hmm. I wonder, some
Yeah.
people, you can get a thing that's like, it's like a ring of metal that you put in the pan and you crack the egg into that, and that keeps it in a circle. But even that is
Oh,
still a thing that only has one use.
well, no, I've been told to use on a mason jar lid, it's got the metal ring and then you put the metal thing in. Well, that ring,
Hmm.
I've been told to use that for poaching eggs or sunny side up.
Hmm.
So it's got two uses: to keep the lid on the mason jar, which is an important use.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All
Oh,
right. That works.
there are a lot of bright minds here. Terry Carver says the same thing. Small cast iron skillet for sunny side up eggs. She loves kitchen gadgets, but don't have a lot of use for them. And she mostly grills outside now. Yeah. Well, my mom had this little Crusette, and the Crusette stoneware, which is like hundreds of dollars. Well, she has a little one like this, teal blue with a lid. And I'm like, this is so cute. I don't want to throw it away. I have no idea what one would use this for. I mean, it's a little bigger than a ramekin, but it's got a lid like it's a Dutch
Mm.
oven. I don't know. What do you
Oh,
use that for?
I've got a set of baking dishes like that. They're white and they have like crinkly walls. And
Okay.
the biggest one is probably like 8 or 10 inches or so, probably about 8. And then there's a maybe 5 or 6 one, and yeah, there's a little tiny cute one that I've never used because what the hell am I gonna cook in that?
Yeah.
Even
Well,
before I
yeah.
was carnivore. As a carnivore, I have literally no use for any of those. I need to just take them to Goodwill. But
You can
even
make a
before
very small
carnivore,
meatloaf,
right?
a meat muffin.
Like, what is this tiny food that I'm cooking? Who is this for?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. The Dark Chris says his George Foreman is collecting dust. Yes, yes,
Yep,
exactly.
I had to give mine
And,
away.
and Country Girl says my mini dash is just sitting. Yeah.
Yep.
And the thing too with the mini dash was I was like, oh great, this egg thing. And then I took the egg waffle out, but it didn't come out totally clean. And then I'm like, well, so what do I do with these little bits of egg? Like, you know, I can't rinse this off. Like wiping a paper towel through, of course, seems wasteful and wasn't super effective. And
Mm.
yeah, I was just kind of like, oh man, this is a whole mess. If it was going to be like, making waffles and it really comes out cleanly, you don't have to do anything, maybe, but this, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the Dark Chris says, would ours be the red book?
It's either the
So,
red book or the meat book.
thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And big hugs and lots of support to you. I did see your post earlier. And yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the Green Book was in, I guess, well, during Jim Crow times, this was the book that told Black people where it was safe to travel and where it was not safe to travel. And it has been revived online, so for current travelers. And but we still need guides like that for different types of things. So as we talked about, so maybe it's the meat book or the red
Yeah.
book. Yeah.
And completely unrelated to carnivore, but talking about the Green Book, if you haven't seen Lovecraft Country, watch it.
Oh, yeah. So I only was able to watch two episodes. Like it was infuriating. so, racist, it's so upsetting, and then also scary on top of it. I was like, this is too
Yeah.
many negative emotions. Like I can't process them all. So,
Um, I get
you
that.
know,
I understand completely. It pays
yeah,
off in the end, but I understand that it can be work to get there.
yeah. Well, I might go back and give it a try because I was really excited, excited to watch it, and and that scene where they were racing out of town, it was just like, oh my God,
Yep.
it's just like so much pressure and fear in the heart. But and I now
It's,
have just started watching that show Porters, or The Porter. I don't know if any of
mm,
you guys have watched. This is like a Canadian show, but they've partnered, I don't know, with some American people as well, and it's all about the Black Porters organizing on the trains. In I guess this was in the early 20s, or during Prohibition, actually. And part of it takes place in Montreal, and part of it here in the U.S. So it's pretty interesting. But again, same thing. Great, interesting, concept, but also, all of the fear and anger that you have to deal with. So yeah,
yeah.
um, yeah,
It's like
um,
every time like the conversation about slave movies, and some people say like, oh, I couldn't watch that. Like I haven't seen 12 Years a Slave because just when it came out, I was not in the mental space that I wanted to watch a movie like that. Maybe at some point I will, but I have not reached the point yet.
hmm yeah. I did see the movie, and my cousin gave me the book, and I read a lot of books, but I was like, no, that one time, that's all I can handle. One time.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, okay, Douglas says Baltimore, Maryland, they specialize in crab cakes. Yes. Um, oh my God, Hero Fix TV. You live in a van and do nothing but travel. We have got to connect in the digital space and actually talk, because that is my long-term goal. So
Mm.
I want to talk to you. So please send me a DM at Black Carnivore on Instagram. Let's talk about it. Okay, Chris Earl for his pizza, no sauce, all meat and cheese. Hey, not really clear why there even is sauce on pizza. Not necessary. Oh, and it's only two chicken breasts. So yeah, eight. What was I thinking? Two, two. It's
Yeah, it's
fine.
not bad.
Um, okay, so Dark Chris says I'll try something new, like on a random weekend. That's it. And he wants to try that carnivore bread. Well, if you do try it, let us know. Post it. Tag me. I definitely want to see how that turns out. And Country Girl knows about the mason jar lid, so I am not the only one that's heard about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Miss M says tiny cast iron has no purpose for carnivore. It's to make a big cookie and then you top it with ice cream. I used that when I baked. Huh.
And you know what? I've seen restaurants serve cornbread in little cast iron skillets.
Okay. Okay. Well, then, they should put a picture of it on the box, like what you do with it, because I don't feel like I've seen that. I would not, that would not have occurred to me. Um, and then you hand the customer a cast iron pot that's 350 degrees with their cookie
Well,
inside.
so there's a place in Philly called Warm Daddies, and they serve the cornbread there that way.
Hmm.
It's not super hot, but yes, it is warm, and I think they give it to you like on a plate with a little pot holder on the handle or something.
Yeah. Okay. Miss M, yes, donate the cast iron. Well, I am going to do what in New York we call a stoop sale, and yeah, I'm hoping this weekend to release a lot of things into the universe and make space for my new possibilities. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great 8-day purge is coming. It is upon us.
Yes, it is. Yes. All of these books behind me, all going. I've got a
Wow.
few people coming to do. Yeah, I know. And I already gave away a bunch that you can't see from this vantage point. But I do have a few people coming for early viewings to try to get the best. But there's a lot here, so So yeah, like in the last 2 days, I've like walked up and down my stairs. Well, my Apple Watch says like 20 times, 20 trips up and down my stairs. So
Mm.
it has been, yeah, that's the least fun part of all of this. Yeah. So let's see. The Dark Chris says I had an air fryer. My mom did before I was keto carnivore, and I didn't use it, and it's gone now. I need one for beef fat trimmings. You need one for life, every single meal. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how
Yeah,
you're doing this without an air fryer. Get the air fryer and throw away everything else.
pretty much. You can fry food in an air fryer.
Hmm.
Like you can
Absolutely.
just, if especially if it's the kind with the basket, you can just grease up that basket on the bottom and throw whatever in there. You could cook
Hmm.
that way.
Hmm. Someone did ask me too how I got my chuck chunks so brown and crispy and delicious looking, and I was like, should I tell you the secret? Really? Are you sure you're gonna want to know? And the secret is, folks, don't clean it, and just keep reusing, and it gets browner and crispier and more flavorful, over time. Yeah,
So
it's facts. It's facts.
yes, yesterday's chuck chunk residue, along with last week's and the week before and the week before, all make
Well, I
great
don't go
chuck
that
chunks.
long. I don't go that long. Probably, I I probably have never gone longer than 2 weeks. Um, but it's probably like a week to 10 days, like that in that range
Hmm.
of washing it. Hmm.
That's
And
longer
if
than I
I,
expect for you. So cool.
yeah, and if it's something like if it's incompatible things, like let's say I made pepperoni, then of course I'm gonna have to wash it because that flavor is definitely gonna, it's
Yeah.
gonna continue on.
Hmm.
Oh, Rolando, thank you. You like my not cleaning up story. Thank you so much for the super chat. So you just arrived and you want to tell us that we are doing an amazing job. Thank you so much, Rolando. I really appreciate it. It is awesome to get support from you and from there's like new people who are joining. So it is I love it. I love that our reach is expanding and that we are able to provide this community for, a broader group of people. And people, there's so many people who are just starting to hear about carnivore and kind of interested in doing it and asking questions. And I love that. And I'm so glad so many of you are curious and, interested in giving it a try. And of course, if you need help, of course, I do coaching. So reach out to me and let me know. If you need some help getting it going. Most people just jump right in and, it works and they kind of tinker with it a little bit to make it work, but then it works. And so that's great. And other people need a little bit more structured approach, but either way, you're good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And you can always reach out to Arian. So Arian came through this via IBS and finding a way to eat that didn't cause pain. So
Yep.
you should definitely reach out to him if that's your struggle. And for me, asthma and allergies. Oh my gosh, world of difference for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It cleared me up completely. And prior to that, I was hopeless and distraught and frustrated and all the other negative emotions. So it's been amazing to all of a sudden feel good when I had no idea if I was ever going to feel good again.
Hmm. And so many people are like that. Like they haven't felt good, maybe in decades. So like they
Yeah.
just don't believe me that those things could clear up and clear up within a matter of weeks. And that is, so it's really nice when you can, when someone is willing to like actually take the plunge and make the effort and do something that is totally off the wall and against everything that everybody will tell you, and when they do it and find such amazing relief, it's like it's so wonderful to hear from them and to be part of that and to hear that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the testimonials are really great, and you realize that, um, like in my case, and the same with yours. Like you came to carnivore for one thing, or there was one or two like really big things that it cleared up, and then you find out through the interviews and other people's testimonials that like, oh, this has cured other people of very, very different uh, illnesses that than what I had. This is actually
Hmm.
way more universal, and it's helpful for everyone.
Yeah. So Chris says, okay. Oh, I think Chris cooks. He does all the things that we do in our air fryers in his cast iron. So he is dubious that it needs to be
Yeah,
replaced. Yeah.
I mean it's definitely doable. Um, for
Yeah.
me, the air fryer is easier. I could do everything that I do in the air fryer in the cast iron skillet. Then I would have to watch the skillet and all that stuff. The air fryer, what I love about it is it does the job, and I can set a time and walk away.
Hmm. Yeah. The cast iron, I also do. It seems to do better when you let the meat accumulate. So
Yep.
I'll put that out there. Um, okay, and he also thinks he thinks he's amazed by how much lighter he feels when he walks. So yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Okay, folks, so we have had an amazing conversation. So, those of you who are here, I hope that you got some great ideas for restaurants and stuff to go to, and look forward to. I look forward to catching up with you over the summer. So, please send me a DM and let me know where you are and what state and what city and or what town, and let's see if we can't set some time up to connect. So, and I also wanted to say I am moving. So, next week I'm just going to have to take off totally. So, no live stream, no video coming out on Tuesday. I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to try to put some more stuff up on my Instagram. So, follow me on Instagram at Black Carnivore and check out my stories and reels. And, hopefully, you'll be interested in some of the things I'm eating and what's going on. And, yeah, let's continue this conversation on the other side in June, in summer. That I officially, June 1st for me is the beginning of summer. So, yeah, so I'll see you guys in the summer. I'm excited. All right, everybody, have a great one.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.